Hi, it's Nancy Drew. Welcome to my latest cyber mystery, Message in a Haunted Mansion. Choose your difficulty level to start off. If you're new to adventure games, you might want to click on the tutorial button to learn how to play the game. Dear Bess, hello from stormy San Francisco. This time I'm staying in a beautiful Victorian mansion. You'd love the room I'm in. It's full of old Chinese furnishings and some interesting knickknacks. The owner of the house, Rose Green, is a friend of Hannah and asked me to come out and help her with some renovation work. She and her friend Abby hope to turn the place into a bed and breakfast by next month. But from what I gathered, Rose isn't sure if she can open in time. Ever since they started the renovations, they've had a lot of accidents. Could it be just bad luck, or is there something more sinister at work? I'm sure I'll find out. Love, Nancy. It's stuck.
Hello, Nancy. I see you've arrived safely from your long journey. But I'm sensing an aura of danger around you. I can tell you're an inquisitive type, a little skeptical, and that you don't believe in ghosts.
How do you know I don't believe in ghosts?
I know many things. I know how to communicate with the spirits, and I know things about people that they don't tell me. Call it intuition or ESP. The spirits in this house are interested in you, especially since you don't believe in them. Watch out. They may give you a rough time just to get your attention.
Do you think these spirits are responsible for the recent accidents?
I sense a very strong but restless spirit within these walls. And a restless spirit can soon become an angry spirit.
Does your intuition tell you who could be behind these recent accidents?
I'm not sure, but for some reason the name Valdez has a strong connection with this mansion.
Do you have any more information on Mr. Valdez?
Now, if you will please excuse me, I need to prepare myself for this evening. At that time, more will be revealed. Om.
It's good to know it's here.
Hello, Nancy. I'm very glad you could come out here. We can really use your help, seeing how far we are behind schedule. Are you all ready to do some renovation work?
I can't wait. Last night, you mentioned some accidents. What exactly happened?
I don't know where to begin. It started out with some small but irritating things. But then the scaffolding collapsed, and just last week we had a gas leak. I really don't know whether I can stand much more of this. I would love to have a week without any accidents.
I can understand your frustration, Rose. Do you think it's just bad luck?
I'm not one to believe in bad luck, but it's been one thing after another. Maybe Charlie doesn't have the expertise for these renovations, but his rates are so affordable. I sometimes wonder, though, if this old house would be worth more burned to the ground. Enough chit-chat. Hannah tells me you're a real pro with puzzles. Take a look in the corner. Those wood tiles should fit inside the inlay pattern of the floor. Abby and I tried for hours, but it's just too complicated. I'm sorry for not introducing you around, but everyone posts their schedule here in the dining room. It's kind of like Command Central. Let me know how far you get with that puzzle. And thanks again for helping us, Nancy.
I did it!
How's that inlay puzzle coming along?
I finished it!
Wonderful! But now I've got something else for you. I set up a ladder upstairs so you can chip off the broken tiles on the hallway ceiling. You'll need to look around for a chisel or paint scraper for the job. I'm not sure where Charlie keeps them.
Where did Abby find those papers that are in the parlor?
She told me they were in her room, which surprised me since it was completely empty when we moved in. Now the room you're staying in was crammed with furniture. I think most of it was original with the house.
How did you meet Abby?
She was the drama coach back in River Heights, and we worked on a couple of plays together. My bid on this house was too low, so she pitched in her savings to help me get the place. If it weren't for Abby, I couldn't have afforded this place.
What is Abby planning for tonight?
She's putting on some kind of seance tonight to contact these ghosts or whatever she thinks is causing all of these accidents.
Whose laptop is that in the library?
Lewis leaves it here, but he doesn't like people to use it. He said he's had trouble with viruses lately.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Thanks for your help.
Hi, you must be Nancy. My name's Charlie.
Nice to meet you. Rose and Abby really have their hands full with this house.
Yeah, most of these Victorian mansions need a lot of work, but I don't mind getting my hands dirty, you know? This place will look great once it's finished.
I can see that. But what do you like to do when you're not renovating Victorian mansions? Any hobbies?
Well, I'm taking classes at the local community college. I really like history. That's why it's neat to live. I mean, work here, because everything is so old. It's got real character.
What do you know about the history of this house?
Not much. Lewis told me it was built in the 1880s and that it survived the 1906 earthquake.
Who's Lewis?
He's an antique dealer, I think. I guess he does consulting work for Rose, like on Victorian furnishings and stuff.
Do you have any idea why there's been so many accidents on this project?
I have no idea. People are blaming me, but it's not my fault. I know what I'm doing. I know how to do this work. Listen, Nancy, I really need to get back to work. I'm repairing some floorboards, so be careful walking around. Rose was looking for you earlier. Maybe she has something for you to do. See ya.
It's stuck.
Drew Residence, Hannah Groon speaking.
Hi, Hannah.
Nancy, how are you? And how's Rose?
Great. I'm really glad you had Rose invite me out here. Her house is so beautiful.
I'm so happy you're out there, but I'm worried about all the accidents she's having. There's just been so many.
What has Rose said about them?
She doesn't say much, but I know they've become worse and worse. That's one of the reasons why I asked you to visit her, to see if everything is all right.
Do you suspect there's something more to these accidents?
I don't know. Rose is under a lot of pressure to open that bread and breakfast on time, and I'm worried that it may be too much for her.
I imagine the mansion was very expensive.
Rose spent her entire life savings on the house. If this doesn't work out, she won't have 30 more years to earn the money back. Well, I should let you get back to your renovation work. Thank you for calling. There's probably no reason for concern. But be on the lookout for anything unusual. Goodbye, dear.
Hello?
Hi, Bess. It's Nancy.
Hi, Nancy. George is here. Let me put her on the speakerphone.
Nancy?
Hi, George.
Hey, what's up?
I'm in San Francisco, helping a friend of Hannah's renovate an old Victorian mansion. She wants to open up a bed and breakfast. Unfortunately, some strange accidents have delayed the project.
Uh-oh.
Well, get this. One of the owners, Abby, thinks the place is haunted by a ghost named Valdez.
A ghost? Well, I'm glad I'm not out there.
Sounds like another case is in the works.
So tell us more about what's been going on.
Do you know anything about the house's history?
I met the resident handyman, Charlie. He's pretty young, and I don't think he has much experience.
Maybe he doesn't charge very much, so he's probably a good bargain for Rose.
Or maybe he's just cute.
Bess, is that all you can think about?
No.
I should get going. Talk to you later.
Goodbye.
This is Emily.
Hi, Emily. It's Nancy Drew.
Nancy Drew? I haven't heard from you in ages. How's Hannah in River Heights? You're not in San Francisco, are you, my dear?
I sure am. I'm staying with Rose Green, a friend of Hannah's, in a Victorian mansion. I'm helping out with renovations.
You know, you're lucky you caught me at home. I've been traveling most of these days, but after that crazy tour of Egypt. By the way, riding a camel is not as easy as it looks. My editor gave me an assignment right here in town. It'll be on the Dragons of San Francisco.
Dragons of San Francisco sounds exotic. What kind of dragons are you researching?
Chinese dragons. My editor thought this would make a great topic for a photo essay. The dragon is a very important symbol in Chinese culture.
So it seems. My room is full of Chinese decorations.
Oh, sure. Many of the Victorians have rooms with themes, usually colors or cultures. I once spent a night in a Victorian where each room had a bird theme. Don't laugh, but I stayed in the nuthatch room.
You're kidding. Why do they call these mansions Victorians?
They're named after Queen Victoria, who pretty much defined high society in the late 1800s. After the gold rush, San Francisco had a building boom, but most of the great Victorian mansions weren't built until the late 1800s. Nowadays, it's very popular to convert them into bed and breakfasts.
The gold rush was in 1849, right?
The big one, yes. There was a huge increase in the city's population, and San Francisco had a reputation for being a lawless frontier town. Lots of people made a quick fortune here and lost it just as fast. Oh dear, am I talking too much? I get so distracted at times I tend to get carried away a bit. So how are you, Nancy? Why did you call? Is there anything I can help you out with?
Can you tell me about the Chinese writing system? I seem to come across a lot of Chinese symbols.
it doesn't surprise me. The Chinese have been an important part of San Francisco history for over 100 years. The symbols are called Hanzi, and each one represents a particular thing, or an idea, or an action. You find them all over on business cards, takeout cartons, artwork.
I found some old papers in the house, plus a page from a phone directory dated 1894.
Ooh, that sounds valuable. It's hard to find old documents like that before 1906.
Do you know anything about Valdez?
I don't think so.
I should get going. Goodbye, Emily.
Keep me posted, okay?
Hello. I was so wrapped up in my book, I didn't hear you come in. My name is Lewis Chandler.
I didn't mean to startle you. I'm Nancy Drew. I came out to help Rose and Abby with the renovations.
Yes, well, I'm very glad you're here.
Are you researching the history of this house?
Actually, I'm a bit in the dark about this particular property. However, as far as Victorian mansions go, I don't see anything remarkable about this one.
Abby thinks the mansion is haunted.
Does she? There have been documented cases of hauntings in older mansions. And I might add, not all of the hauntings were by friendly spirits.
Do you think a ghost is causing these accidents?
Accidents? I know Rose has mentioned some inconveniences like that wall covering and the light supplies, but I would hardly call those accidents. I'm sorry, but I'm quite busy at the moment, and although I'd like to talk, I really don't have the time. Please, excuse me.
It's missing an eye.
I see you.
It's stuck. there more to this music than what I'm seeing? The rope is cut. It's so dark in here.
tiles coming along?
I'm all finished, but you should know what I found.
I'm sure it's very interesting, but unless it's really important, I've got other things to worry about. Let's see. If you're any good at fixing things, there's a dumbwaiter in the hallway that's not working.
I already fixed it. Sort of.
You have? Well then, I don't have anything for you to do right now. Why don't you take a break? There are a lot of nooks and crannies to explore. Maybe someone else could use your help.
How did you find Charlie?
He just showed up one day. It was really odd. I remember Abby and I were in the basement talking about hiring someone to help us. 20 minutes later, the doorbell rang and there stood Charlie, looking for work.
How do you know Louis?
He stopped by one day to introduce himself. He seemed awfully curious about our property, but he's an antique dealer specializing in the Victorian period. He's been extremely helpful advising us on authentic decor.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Goodbye.
The spirits wish to speak to you, Nancy. Tonight, I will channel their energies to deliver a message. Meet me down in the basement, if you dare. Please sit down.
We really don't have time for this.
Let us begin. We are gathered here tonight to contact the shades of those who have passed before us. Gaze into the crystal ball. It will answer all of our questions. What's that?
Who has called me forth from the great beyond?
We have. Are you the spirit known as Valdez?
I was once called that in the world of the living.
Are you the spirit who has caused these accidents?
I have come back searching for her, my wife. Where can she be?
The spirits have spoken. The seance is over.
We've got a busy day tomorrow, and no more time for these games, Abby. And make sure you blow out the candles on your way up. I don't want to wake up and find the house on fire.
I hope you're convinced now that the spirits are with us. These ghosts are here to stay.
I'm convinced that this house is haunted. I'm just not sure who is responsible.
Isn't it obvious? Senor Valdez and his wife, long-lost soulmates wandering aimlessly in the netherworld, returning to this house to search for each other. I only hope that one day I will be able to reunite them so that they may find peace.
What kind of person is Charlie? He seems to feel bad about all of these mishaps.
Ugh, it's clear to me that Charlie's totally responsible for the accidents. Who else could it have been? He's a really nice kid, but he has no idea what he's doing. Unfortunately, Rose doesn't want to fire him. And there's something suspicious about him.
What do you mean?
The other day, I was down in the basement working for over an hour, and suddenly he sneaks up on me. I bet he was down there the whole time, watching me.
Do you know much about Louis? It must be great having your own expert on Victorians.
He owns Chandler Interiors, a very reputable antique store. I'm sure his clients will be quite interested in our bed and breakfast once they hear about our resident ghost.
How long have you known Rose?
A couple of years. She has good business sense, but I think she needs to think more about advertising. Otherwise, we're just like all the other B&Bs in this town, and believe me, there's plenty of them.
I saw those papers in the parlor. Where did you find them?
Right in my room. They're so vintage. I'm going to ask Louis if he can get me some antique frames for them. Rose and I can use the letters in our historical display.
Was there anything about the house in them?
I don't think so. I really didn't go through them that much. I did find this old picture of a woman dressed in men's clothing. I think it was taken in the entryway by the staircase. I sent it to a photographer to have it restored.
A woman in men's clothing? That sounds strange.
I once read that some women back then liked the freedom men's clothing gave them since their lives were so restricted. A man could go anywhere and do almost anything. A woman couldn't.
I heard someone crying in the hallway. Was that you?
I told you the spirits were interested in you. Was it a woman crying?
Yes, it was. How did you know?
It must be one of our phantom residents.
Do you know who this phantom could be?
Well, it wasn't me crying out there.
Does Charlie live around here?
I'm not sure. He said he's between apartments. I think he said he's staying with friends until he can find a place of his own.
Is Charlie from the Bay Area?
I don't know. You might want to ask Rose. He doesn't talk much about his private life.
Between apartments? That seems kind of odd.
Not for San Francisco. Rents are really high, and there are so many kids thinking they can find cheap housing out here. It's sad to say, but a lot of them end up on the streets.
I'll let you get back to what you were doing.
Ta-ta for now.
Hello, Nancy.
I was wondering whether you knew anything about someone named E. Valdez.
E. Valdez. No, I've never heard of that name. But I'll jot it down and let you know if I come across it anywhere.
What kind of antique store do you own?
It's a gallery, not a store. And it's called Chandler Interiors, specializing in the Victorian period. I have clients from all over the world, and if I don't have what they're looking for, I find it.
Was this house once a hotel?
That's hard to say. The house has been renovated many times, but several of its original features, such as the saloon and staircase, seem to indicate that it may have been a hotel. Unfortunately, there are no records on this house before 1906.
What was the Ladies' Protection Society?
A popular charity in the early 1900s. They helped widows and orphans.
Do you think Charlie is doing a good job?
Certainly. He's rough around the edges, but he's reliable and learns very quickly. He's just what Rose and I need.
I won't keep you any longer.
Good day.
Drew Residence, Hannah Gruen speaking.
Hi, Hannah.
Hi, Nancy.
Abby is very strange. She really is convinced there's a ghost somewhere in the house.
I don't know Abby very well, but I never felt comfortable with her. I can't put my finger on it, but she just seemed, well, I don't know, like she wasn't who she really was, like she was putting on an act.
Do you think Rose should be concerned about Abby?
Oh, no, I didn't mean it in a bad sense. Abby has always been very helpful to Rose, and they've always gotten along very well.
I met Rose's handyman, Charlie. He seems nice.
Rose told me he's a fine young fellow, but a little rough around the edges. I believe she said he's studying history at a community college.
Has Rose said anything about him and the accidents?
Nothing particular. I know she's concerned that Charlie may have inadvertently caused some of them, but she doesn't think it was intentional.
Did you know Rose has a resident expert on Victorians?
Oh, Yes, Rose has mentioned Louis several times. She's really fond of him and is very grateful for his help.
How has he been helpful?
He's found some Victorian antiques at good prices, and he's making sure the renovations are done correctly.
Have you heard about the seance Abby hosted for Rose and me?
Seance? Good heavens.
Has Rose ever mentioned that the house may be haunted?
Haunted? No, Rose is a very practical person. I couldn't imagine that she believes in ghosts. Although she's told me she's been a bit spooked these past couple of weeks.
Spooked?
I shouldn't be saying this, but Rose told me there's been some strange things going on. She's very fond of roses and likes to have fresh flowers about. But as soon as she puts them out, they die. It's very odd.
I just found a hidden attic. I wonder if it has anything to do with all these accidents.
Perhaps it does. Nancy, keep this a secret until you get to the bottom of these strange events. Don't even tell Rose. The less everyone knows, the more you can investigate without creating suspicion.
This house is full of surprises. I found a secret room in the basement where someone's been living.
Strange accidents? Secret rooms? Seances? The more I hear about this house, the more I wonder what Rose has gotten herself into.
I should get back to work. Goodbye.
Have a good day.
This is Bess.
And George.
Hello, you two.
Hi, Nancy. How are you?
Rose is really lucky. This antique dealer, Louis Chandler, is helping her out, although he doesn't know very much about the house's history.
That makes sense. If the house was built before 1906, most of its records were probably destroyed in the earthquake.
But wouldn't he know at least something about it if he's some kind of expert on old things?
I'm sure he knows a lot about old stuff, just not architecture or houses.
Listen to this. I found a secret attic and an old desk. It looks like no one's been in there for years.
There's probably a lot of clues about the house in there.
Oh, what was in the desk?
An old playbill for a musical called The Bandit's Treasure.
The Bandit's Treasure? Maybe there is treasure in the house.
I found some letters written by E. Valdez. I guess he was the owner of a hotel named the Golden Gardenia.
Valdez.
Golden gardenias? I thought they were all white.
That's it. Don't you see? The hotel has gold hidden in it, and Valdez is watching over it.
I don't think so, Bess.
Abby hosted a seance and contacted the spirit who's haunting the house.
Did you actually see the ghost?
Yeah, right. I'm sure it was some kind of trick.
Abby sounds suspicious.
Yeah, maybe she's hiding something. She probably knows more about the house than she's admitting.
I found a secret room in the basement, and it looks like someone is living there.
Who could it be?
Probably Charlie. Doesn't he spend most of his time down there?
Look around for clues. Who knows what he's up to?
I found a hidden passageway in the library.
Really?
Now you can spy on people.
Yeah, and see who's reading what.
Or get a good look at the resident ghost.
I should get going. Talk to you later.
Goodbye.
I see you. Hey Nancy, I see you survived Abby's seance. Man, that Valdez guy sure sounded creepy.
I guess. Were you down here then? I don't remember seeing you.
Rose told me all about it. So how are things coming along? Anything I can help you out with?
Have you ever heard of someone named Valdez?
I've heard of a Diego Valdez. He was a wealthy rancher who lived in the 1800s. Yeah, I just read a book on him for my history class.
Was he from San Francisco?
No, he was sort of a hermit and never married. But he was extremely generous. He gave away thousands of dollars.
How do you like working for Abby?
She's not bad. She can be a little weird. I think she gets on Rose's nerves sometimes.
Abby thinks the house is haunted. Do you?
I'm not sure. Let's just say I wouldn't rule it out. But that's Abby's department, not mine.
How does Abby get on Rose's nerves?
She always does a disappearing act whenever Rose needs her to do some work. And I think Rose is sort of had it, you know?
Had you come across any hidden passageways down here?
You mean like a trapdoor leading to a room with skeletons or something? No, I haven't.
I'll let you get back to your renovation.
So long.
Emily Foxworth speaking.
Hello, it's Nancy Drew.
Hi, Nancy. How's your case coming along?
What do you know about the Bandit's Treasure?
Bandit's Treasure? Oh, you mean the play. The Rep did a season where they performed old local plays, including the Bandit's Treasure. I've never seen it, but I hear the music is fantastic.
Have you heard of an antique dealer named Louis Chandler?
Nope, never heard of him.
Have you ever come across hidden rooms in Victorian mansions?
No, but I've read that many houses were only partially rebuilt after the Great Earthquake, closing off damaged rooms from the rest of the house.
Do you know where Yerba Buena town is?
That's what San Francisco was called back during the Spanish colonial period, but no one calls it that anymore.
Tell me about the Spanish and San Francisco.
Oh, you could write a book on that. The Spanish were the first Europeans to settle this area during the 1700s, and it stayed that way until after the Mexican-American War when it was handed over to the United States. It couldn't have happened at a better time because gold was discovered outside the city not more than 2 years later.
With all of that gold around, I'd imagine there's a lot of buried treasure in this town.
Yeah, you'd think that, but I've never heard of any in San Francisco except for Treasure Island out in the bay. But that's named after the book, not some legend.
I should get going. Goodbye, Emily.
I hope we'll talk soon.
Who has called me forth from the great beyond?
Hi, Nancy.
I found out how you wired the house to make it haunted. The only ghost who walks these halls is you, Abby.
And so it is, I admit it. But I had you fooled there, didn't I? If I can fool Nancy Drew, I'm sure I'll be able to fool even our most skeptical guests.
Why did you go to all the trouble to do this?
For the publicity. But I really do think there's something going on in this house. I really believe it's haunted. I'm just enhancing the spectral experience.
Are you sure you haven't caused any of these accidents with your stunts?
Yes, I'm sure. I've been very careful with everything.
I'll let you get back to what you were doing.
Have a celestial day.
Hello, Nancy.
Have you ever heard of the Great Christmas Gold Robbery?
Of course, although it never actually occurred. Fictional history, a folk legend, a complete myth. But nonetheless, it's still a fascinating story, even though it isn't true.
Do you know who Lizzie Applegate was?
Yes, I certainly do. She was a very popular actress in the late 1800s. She was very generous and left all of her money to the Ladies' Protection Society.
Did Lizzie ever wear men's clothing?
I'm sure she played some roles where she had to dress as a man, but she was quite an elegant woman, quite fashionable for her time.
I won't keep you any longer.
Good day.
Hi, Nancy. What's up?
Charlie, I found this diskette. I think it's yours.
I was wondering where it was. Thanks a lot, Nancy. Luckily, I had a backup at the school.
That must be an interesting paper you're writing.
I just started to write it, so I don't know very much about the robbery. It's hard to separate fact from fiction, especially when most of the information is based on rumors.
Whatever happened to the gold?
Nobody knows. Some historians say that the bank faked the robbery to collect the insurance money.
Was it El Diablo who stole the gold? Or someone else?
It was definitely El Diablo, but no one knows who he was. In my opinion, El Diablo never existed. He was a composite of different outlaws from that era.
I'll let you get back to your renovation.
I'll be here if you need me.
It's locked. It's stuck. Morning, Nancy.
I talked to everybody in the house, and none of them can figure out what caused the fire. Maybe I should take Lewis's advice and cut my losses before it's too late.
What advice?
He has a client who might want to buy the place. Someone with more experience and money to finish all of the renovations.
What did the fire department say?
They think the fire was caused by sparks from the fireplace, since it doesn't have a screen. And I specifically told Charlie to buy one. How could he have forgotten? No, I am bound and determined to stick with this house no matter what. Nothing can drive me away. I don't care if it's fires, earthquakes, or Mr. Valdez with his gang of ghosts.
Excuse me for prying, but why did you spend so much money to insure the house against fire?
For protection. I've put my entire life savings into this house, and if it goes up in smoke, I'll lose everything.
Have you heard of someone named Lizzie Applegate?
No, I haven't.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Bye.
Ah, Nancy, what a shame to have lost those papers. And to think that we almost lost the house. Rose is very fortunate to have you here.
Did you hear anything in the parlor before the fire started?
No, I'm afraid not. I'm somewhat isolated here. With these thick walls, I barely hear anything.
Were the papers very valuable?
Not for my purposes, no. But they must have had some sentimental value.
Do you think Rose should sell the house?
I leave that decision up to her. She's put an extraordinary amount of time and money into it, and I'm not sure if she can afford what it'll take to complete the renovations. But whatever her decision, I will assist her however I can.
I won't keep you any longer.
Goodbye, Nancy.
Drew Residence, Hannah Gruen speaking.
Hi, Hannah.
Hi, Nancy.
Abby faked the seance. She rigged a table with a projector.
Well, you didn't think it was for real, did you? Don't worry, Rose, about this. She has enough on her mind already. I just can't imagine why Abby would go to all that trouble.
There was a fire in the parlor, but I put it out in time.
Thank goodness. I just hope nobody was hurt. Rose told me she was afraid that house was a fire trap. I'm just so glad you were there to save the place.
Hannah, do you think Rose could have started the fire to collect the insurance on the house?
No, not at all. Rose loves that house. It's her dream come true. I can't imagine her doing something like that. She's very determined to open that B&B.
I should get back to work. Goodbye.
Don't work too hard.
Hello?
Hi, Bess.
What's up?
You'll never believe this, but things have gotten even more complicated. I found some clues that there might be buried treasure in the house.
Wow!
Oh, Nancy, it sounds like you've got a real case on your hands. How can we help?
There was a small fire in the house, but luckily I put it out. But the old papers that Abby found were destroyed.
Things are really starting to heat up, Nancy.
Ugh, and so are the bad puns.
Why would someone want to burn those papers?
I bet there was something in them that was important.
I'd take another look at the scene of the fire for any clues.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I should get going. Talk to you later.
Call us!
Emily Foxworth speaking.
Hello, it's Nancy Drew.
Hi, Hi, Nancy. How's your case coming along?
Have you ever heard of the Ladies Protection Society?
No, but it sounds like some turn-of-the-century charity. There were all these private agencies that helped out widows and orphans before the government took on that role.
Have you heard of an actress, Lizzie Applegate?
Oh, sure. She was a good friend of Lotta Crabtree, another popular actress in the late 1800s. As I recall, she opened up a big hotel. What was it called? The Hotel Mandrake or the Oriental? I forget.
Was it in this neighborhood? Is it still around?
Oh, no, this one was downtown. It was very big, but I think it burned down.
I should get going. Goodbye, Emily.
Talk to you later.
Hey, Nancy. I hear there's been another accident. You've got to believe me, I didn't have anything to do with it. I just hope Rose doesn't blame me for this one.
Rose mentioned the fire screen you were supposed to get.
But I did buy it. Lewis told me that it was the wrong type and said he'd get another one, so I returned it.
And that's all there is to it?
Everyone thinks I'm causing these accidents because I was always the last one there, but I had nothing to do with them. I can tell you this. There's something unusual going on in this house.
What makes you say that?
I'd better not say any more. Sorry.
Who was the last person you saw in the parlor before the fire?
I've been working mostly in the basement, but I think I saw Abby go through those papers right before the fire.
I'll let you get back to your renovation.
Hasta la pasta.
You have become completely distracted by all of the spiritualism stuff. I think you were in the parlor, either burning candles or using that flash paper.
Well, excuse me for trying to find some ways to promote this place. It's good business sense.
Well, I guess we won't have to worry about advertising if the mansion burns down.
You've given up. You want the mansion to burn to the ground. That way you won't have to worry about losing your investment. You'll just collect the insurance.
How dare you? Are you accusing me of fraud?
I'm sorry, Rose. I don't know. It's just all these accidents and now this. I know you're dedicated to this house. I'm sorry for doubting you.
Let's just finish up these curtains. I think the stress of the last few weeks has finally gotten the better of us.
Yes, Nancy.
Do you know why the fireplace in the parlor didn't have a screen?
No, I don't. Now I remember. I was to purchase an antique fire screen, but never found a suitable match. I feel just terrible. I must apologize to Rose about this.
I won't keep you any longer.
Thank you, Nancy.
missing any papers?
Funny you should ask. Yes, I did misplace some old letters, but I'm sure they'll show up soon.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
So long.
Morning, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy. I can't believe we had a fire. I can't believe it. I bet Charlie was down there before it started.
Why do you say that?
Because he's always around at the scene of these accidents. I told Rose to fire him, but she won't listen to me.
I'll let you get back to what you were doing.
Have a celestial day.
Aha! That's it!
Louis, are you in there?
I'll be right there.
Drew Residence, Hannah Gruen speaking.
Hi, Hannah.
Hi, Nancy.
Lewis is up to something. I saw him take a book from the library.
That doesn't sound very suspicious. What was the book about?
Lewis's book mentioned that this house was once called Gumbo Fu in the 1800s.
That's nice, dear. I have no idea what that means. But give Emily a call. She knows all about San Francisco legends.
I should get back to work. Goodbye.
Goodbye, dear.
Hello?
Hi, Bess.
Hello, what's new?
Do either of you know what Gumbo Fu means?
It sounds Chinese.
Call Emily. She'll know.
I should get going. Talk to you later.
Call us!
Emily Foxworth speaking.
Hello, it's Nancy Drew.
Hi, Nancy. How's your case coming along?
Do you know what the words Gumbo Fu mean?
Sounds Chinese to me. Why don't you ask everyone what they think it means? It may have something to do with the house. In the meantime, I'll ask my friends about it. Gumbo Fu.
I should get going. Goodbye, Emily.
Goodbye, Nancy.
Hello.
Do you know what Gumbo Fu means?
No, not that I can remember.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Goodbye.
Hi, Nancy. What's up?
Do you know what the words Gumbo Fu mean?
I'm not sure. I've never heard that before.
I'll let you get back to your renovation.
Later.
Hello.
Do you know what Gumbo Fu means?
Gumbo Fu? I love gumbo. What kind of gumbo is Gumbo Fu?
I'll let you get back to what you were doing.
See you later.
Yes, Nancy.
Do you know what Gumbo Fu means?
Where did you hear that?
I read about it in a magazine.
I see. As I recall, it means House of Great Books. After the Great Earthquake, many books and documents were stored in private homes to save them from the fires. The Chinese called those houses Gumbo Fu.
I won't keep you any longer.
Goodbye, Nancy.
Hi, Emily. It's Nancy.
Listen, my dear, I'm off to a photo shoot in Mexico, even though I don't know why they're sending me down there again. I just got back a couple of months ago, but who knows what goes on in my editor's mind, always thinking of new ways to make my life miserable. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yes, I'll find out what that phrase means before I go, okay? Okay, good luck.
I'm glad you dropped by. You know, I wanted to tell you that you'll be alone in the house for a while. Everyone is going to the Winter Festival, and Charlie's studying for finals. I also took down one of the tapestries in your room for dry cleaning, and what was the other thing? Oh, a messenger dropped off a letter for you. I put it in your room.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Bye, Nancy.
Gold! And to think I was standing on it all along.
Ha 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 ha!
Ah!
Too bad no one will ever find out about it.
Louis?
I knew it! There must be over $1 million in here.
I've got to stop him before he gets away.
What? Hey! 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 Get me out of here!
Dear Bess, I'm just about finished with my renovation work and counting out all of those gold coins. Louis was behind all of the accidents, hoping to pressure Rose into selling the house so he could find the treasure himself. Although Rose and Abby may not have a legal right to the gold, the bank the coins were stolen from will still give them a reward for finding it. The house also has gotten a lot of publicity with all of the news stories, and the place is booked solid for the first month of its opening. I guess a haunted bed and breakfast with hidden treasures is all the rage these days, even if there are no such things as ghosts. I think. See you soon, Nancy.